Good afternoon. This is November the 26th, Sunday, 2023, and we are in MA second semester creative non-fiction class at the Central Department of English, TU. And in the previous class, we started reading Mary Jane Oliver's essay, Wasteland and Elegy. And if you recall, we saw that this essay is remarkable for imagery. And imagery is a strong feature of poetry. And as we read in the introduction to the author, and we found that Mary Jane Oliver is also a very prominent poet. And even the title Wasteland alludes to T.S. Eliot's famous poem Wasteland. And then we have the let's say in a sense the second part of the title, an elegy. And we said that an elegy is a lamentation upon someone's death, right? And here we see that Mary Jane Oliver seems to lament upon the death of nature, So the title of this course is, pay attention, it's creative, it's non-fiction, it's voices, it's from the margin. Now, the creative side of this essay you can see in the imagery. It's so poetic. If somebody asks you what is the creative aspect of this essay, so you can say the poetic imagery is the poetic creative aspect. And if somebody asks you what is non-fictional, then you can go to the exigence, where Jane Oliver says that our municipality has made a decision to convert the woodland into a sewage system for the town. So the municipality has approved a decision to destroy the trees and build a new sewage system for the town. And this decision is what has prompted her to write this essay. So what is exigence? Exigence is any factor, any happening, any event, anything that triggers something. So if you ask a question, what did trigger her to write it? Simple answer comes, the municipality's decision to convert the woodland into a modern facility triggered her to write this essay. So that is exigence. So that exigence that the municipality decided to convert the woodland into a modern facility. This is a real happening. So what is non-fiction? Non-fiction is about real people, real places, and real events. So you can see this is about real place and real event. And if somebody asks voice, so see, हाँसो लाग्छ के भित्र कति तिमीलाई एक शब्द भन्दा भित्र 10 शब्द आउँछ नि त नि हाँसो लाग्छ तिमीलाई एक शब्द भन्न खोजेको हुन्छ भित्र 100 शब्द आइसकेको हुन्छ के Why do we write? We often write to raise our voice. We write to raise our voice. Why do we raise our voice? if not always, very often we raise our voice because we are not happy with something. So, what kind of voice is she raising? What kind of voice is she raising? In a sense, she is raising the voice of protest here. The voice of protest. Remember, you can make protest in two ways. One, the hard way. Jindabad, Murdabad, as you saw last time in Balku or Tinkune. That's explicit protest, direct protest, right? Another, you can raise protest voice implicitly, indirectly, softly. So here, she makes a protest in a very soft way, very subtle. So she makes a subtle protest. Subtle protest. A subtle protest, in a subtle protest, the speaker, the writer does not say things directly, but you understand their intention and meaning. As you read, you understand, right? So you will see that, although in this essay, the dominant appeal is emotional. In this essay, the dominant appeal is emotional because the essay is very poetic. The essay is very poetic. It is highly descriptive. It has abundance of vivid imagery. Even the words, the language, the diction, the choice of words is very poetic. So it makes emotional appeal. But be very careful. Under the cover of emotion, the writer makes implicit argument. All these essays, I repeat, all make argument. In a sense, everything makes an argument. That graffiti over there, which says #power and fantasy. Somebody wrote it. Somebody wrote it over there on the back of the classroom wall. That also makes an argument. Because in that broad sense, argument is viewpoint. Argument is viewpoint. Okay, so this essay, I said, it had dominant emotional appeal. It makes implicit argument. How does it make implicit argument? So you will see that the writer uses the technique of foregrounding and backgrounding, or the technique of contrast. The writer makes the technique of foregrounding or backgrounding and contrast. For example, let me quickly show one line. I'll come back here again. I'll come back. But before I come back, let me show a line to you. Look here. I don't know which line in the book it is, but this is an elegy. Have you seen? This is a refrain. After every few paragraphs, the writer says, but this is an elegy. 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 Refrain is a feature of poetry. Refrain is a feature of poetry. What does refrain do? What is the function of refrain? Refrain repeats an idea. Refrain repeats an idea again and again and reinforces its impact on the reader. Refrain repeats an idea. Now, but it is an elegy. So, elegy means death. Elegy means death. Not exactly death, but I mean the celebration of death. Elegy is a mourning of death. So the idea of death, death of what? Death of nature, is present. Now there are buildings. Now see, now. And you will see that the foregrounding and background, what is in the background? The past is in the background. The present is in the foreground. Or you could say, no sir, the present is in the foreground. Sorry, in the present is in the background. So I made a mistake. The present is foregrounded and the past is backgrounded. Or the present is backgrounded or the past is foregrounded. Either way. But my point is, if you see language, time and again she uses the expression now. And when she uses the expression now, we also understand the word then. Because when you say now, you understand implicitly then. Now then, now then, now then. So she compares now with then. What was there then? What is there now? And by moving back and forth between now and then, she shows the environmental destruction. And she makes the argument. Though she nowhere says that it's bad to do this thing, but we understand. As we read, we understand that what the municipality has done is not a good idea. Right? Okay. This morning somebody told me that in London, the Heathrow Airport had an extension plan long ago, almost 30, 40 years before. The government had decided to extend Heathrow Airport. And for that, the government decided to cut a lot of trees around the airport to acquire land. And then there was a protest and there was environmental study. And the study found that the loss of the environment was irreparable. And the British government cancelled the idea of extending Heathrow Airport. And till now, they haven't expanded. And they said, we will make an airport elsewhere, but we won't expand at the cost of environment. And here in Nepal, Nijgad going on, Nijgad.
And they are adding more airports.
And they make airports where no planes fly.
Yes.
Look their vision.
White elephant.
They make airports where no international planes fly. And I hear Pokhara Airport is not able to pay the interest of its debt also.
Yes.
Leave that political talk, otherwise they will blame me. Divakar brings politics in class. I should do that, right? But you can't avoid politics at the university, right? You cannot avoid politics in university class. Okay, let me come back to the point I was making and quickly read with you and then explain. As you listen to me, go on making notes about a kind of imagery. For example, we have a lot of, okay, just a minute. Yes. So last time, in our previous class, if I remember well, you can see on the screen and I'll read out, you can follow the lines. We were reading, shady paths besotted by blown trash. See the image of trash. In your book, make rows and column. Huh?
You can zoom in, I think it will be much.
I can zoom in? Oh. Technology, right? How helpful, right? Okay. Trash. So make a column and row. And on top write type of imagery. Plant imagery. Bird imagery. Pollution imagery. And give examples. Write type of imagery and make a list of images, right? So trash is pollution imagery. But when space is limited for recreations of such different kinds, compatibility is given improbable tasks. Before leaving the class last time, I remember I said, today the environment has to be compatible with development attempts. And if nature cannot accommodate development, nature is sacrificed. Today, if nature cannot accommodate with the development necessities, we don't cancel development plan. We destroy nature. We destroy nature. And that is the problem. Because we are giving preference to development at the cost of nature. We are giving preference to development at the cost of nature. Okay, but when space is limited, okay, Move next paragraph. As for the trash, what I am doing, interestingly, as I was preparing for the class, a thought came to my mind that I wanted to see this essay rather than read this essay. I wanted to see this essay rather than read. So I decided to convert each image, taking help of Google image, into pictures. So look here, trash. As for the trash which gathered in spite of the signs, there are signs, do not throw garbage here, offenders will be punished, 1,000 rupees fine. And who cares? Who cares? Look, people throw. What does it show? What does it show? It shows we have become insensitive to environment. We have become insensitive. It did what trash does and ever will do. What does trash do? Look, the characteristic of trash is that it never gets decomposed. It never gets dissolved. You throw a plastic bag here, come after 100 years, the bag will be there. You throw a plastic bag somewhere and come back after 50 years, it will be there. That's the feature. It is permanent. It is what you call non-recyclable. You cannot decompose. It lay there and did not grow thin or fade or even much of it rot. See how in such a simple, lucid way she's warning us. Mary Jane Oliver is saying, hello, second semester section. Oh, your only section. If you throw plastic, please understand, it won't grow thin, it won't fade, it won't rot. It will be there like a rock on the Mars or moon forever, forever. And that is the challenge, right? Old stoves are thrown there. Right in front of my home in Tarakeswar Nagar Palika, Hiledol, ward number 9. Just in front of my home, 20 meters away, I have a garbage spot where the trash collectors bring trash in trucks and they pour down. And every week for 2-3 days, my windows stink. And I have to close my windows, and I have flies around my kitchen. And I keep complaining them. Yesto nagardinus, 4 bhayo ghar agadi, yaha nafalnus, and they don't listen to me. And just 5 feet away from the garbage dump, there is health post. Health post. The garbage mountain is just by health post. And nobody cares. I hope if they watch my video on YouTube, they will care. That's why I'm saying it. I'm raising my voice. Raising my voice through the media. Stoves were predominant. And dozens of, I said last time that as a homework or as one term paper, one can choose. I have a term paper for you. Term paper is take a camera, make a one-day walk through any river in Kathmandu, any river, take photographs, and write an essay, photo essay. I'll award very nice marks. So if you feel difficult to write my analysis term paper, here is an option. Easy solution. Take a camera, take a diary, make a group of 2 people or 3 people, and just start walking from Chobar, Bagmati, and walk by the river and reach Vishnudwar. It will take you one day, whole day. And then go on noting down. Just note what you see and take photographs. Take a note and write essay like this. Bring the photo, describe, and submit me 20-page essay, beautiful photo essay. I like that idea. I want to do it. I can lend you my camera if you want to do it. Okay? So let me see who is doing it. If you don't want to go from Chobar to Bagdarwa, choose one segment. And interview people, what they say, and take photograph of the life around the city banks. How is life? And just write a response. That will be a better assignment for this chapter. So anybody can choose that. Okay. Tires lining the bike track. the standing water within them creating dengue in Kathmandu. Dengue. This essay was written when? When was it written? When was this essay written? 2006? Published 2003. 20 years before. Right?
Yes.
And it is so relevant.
Yes.
It is so relevant. Within them, breeding uncountable numbers of mosquitoes. And yet, at certain hours, in the absence of boys and their kids, I could walk here. Look, I could walk here. Yet, despite the pollution, when boys were not riding their motorcycles, I would go there. Because that was my favorite spot. Walk there. Walk here and see birds. Oh God. What I like this thing. Nature is trying to survive. Human beings are doing their best to destroy, but nature is trying to thrive. Despite all this pollution, birds come there. Birds come there. So you might see birds in the dirty water of Bagmati and take a photograph. They might drink the water, right? I found nowhere else. Birds I found nowhere else. See the argument. Mr. Mayor, please don't destroy the woodland because here there are birds found nowhere else. See the argument. Do you see the argument? Mr. Mayor, do not destroy the place because it is a bird sanctuary. There are birds which are found nowhere. Look, that is the power of literature. Literature does not say directly. It says, Gumauro parale. And that Gumauro statement is more powerful than Siddha statement. Right? That's why literature penetrates deeper. I found nowhere else the indigo. Now example. What birds were there? The indigo bunting. This one you can see on the screen. The indigo bunting, for example, and the black-billed cuckoo. They are more findable associates. Gold flinches, this one. Gold flinches. Catbirds, this one. Catbirds. The brown thrasher, this one. We call this Bhadrai in Nepal, in my village. I don't know what you call. Bhadrai. In my childhood, I killed a lot of them. Yeah, I hunted as a child while grazing buffalo in the jungle. We killed. Sorry for that. Right? We will fry and eat. God, what a crime. So, brown thrasher. The yellow's throat, this one. Palm warblers, this one. See the imagery. Color imagery. One can write a term paper. Color imagery in this essay. The grosbeak, this one. The ruby-throated hummingbird, this one.
Ruby-throated. So can we actually see the name as well when you saw the picture?
Yeah, the ruby-throated hummingbird, this one.
Ruby-throated.
I don't know the exact pronunciation. I haven't checked. I'll say ruby. Okay, fine. Ruby. Ruby-throated hummingbird. Look how beautiful. Then, nested here. And she says, these are birds found nowhere else. So please, Mr. Mayor, before you implement your plan, think thrice. Here, but even now, I will not tell you in precisely what tree. I won't tell you what tree has these birds. It was a secret to be kept. Then, in this essay, you will see frequent use of now and then, now and then, now and then, now and then. So this is a story written from the viewpoint of now about then. I'm writing now. And I'm writing about then. I'm writing now. I'm writing about then. So I compare now with then and then with now. And this comparison is painful. Okay. It was a secret to be kept then, so why not keep it still? Now, look, now and then, now and then. Now that the birds and the tree itself have vanished. Oh God, Elegy. Why Elegy? Why do you call this Elegy? Wasteland and Elegy. Why call it Elegy? Because now the trees and the birds themselves have vanished. So Elegy. So Elegy. Why call this essay an elegy? Because now the birds and the tree itself have vanished. And there were, where, not are, where. Have you seen? मिल जाए तो मिट्टी खो जाए तो सोना. मिल जाए तो मिट्टी खो जाए तो सोना. We cry more for what we have lost. We value more things we have lost. And there were daisies. These are daisies. Daisies. Now flower imagery. Now flower imagery. Daisies. And butter and eggs. These are butter and eggs. Butter and eggs. And milkweed. This is the milkweed. Milkweed. With its mauve pendants. See the detailed description. Pendant त थाहा छ नि त्यो तपाईँ त्यो बिहा गरेको नानीहरूले तिलहरीको सट्टामा लगाउनु चाहिँ सानो झुडी चाहिँ पेन्डेन्ट सानो हुन्छ नि टक्क फुलको जस्तो हुन्छ नि पेन्डेन्ट सरी फर दिस नेपाली with its more pendants and black eyed Suzanne. This one, see the eye, black eye, Suzanne. There were, I can't pronounce it, ragoses, this one, upward, happy with buds and plaited glossy leaves, this one. Sorry, I misread. There were ragoses, white and red. In the summer light they shot upward, heavy with buds and plaited glossy leaves, then sagged under their own sweet weight. But this is it's like Jagdish Singh's ghazal. Have you heard? In his ghazal there is a refrain. After every couplet or after every quatrain, he repeats a line. But this is an elegy.